All right, hello everybody. Of course, we're just gonna wait a few minutes to give people a chance to pop in here. Hope everybody's having a good day thus far and had a good week. Um, as I said, we'll just wait a few minutes, give people a chance to get in here and all that. Come on now, come on now. Hey, come on now. All right, so we have two people here. Hello. As I said, we're just waiting to see if some more people show up. Just give me a sec. I'm going to go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back. All right. So, anyways, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, that would be helpful. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. As I said, I hope you're having a good day thus far and have had a good week. We're now, of course, we're here on Thursday. So, Thursday, March 17th, and I don't know if anywhere else, other part, I guess, Ireland maybe, but I know here in the States today, of course, is St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if they celebrate it up in Canada or not, but if there's anybody in Canada, you can probably verify if that's the case or not. Yeah, so as I said, we're just waiting to give people a chance to come in and show up. Um, Hopefully, we'll get a few more people here. And of course, don't forget tomorrow night, of course, is our weekly look back at comics history. Um, I'll have backup with me to do that. Um, we're just waiting on some people here. Yeah, so I guess whoever's there is gonna probably just lurk, and that's fine. Hopefully. We're now at the 5 minute mark here, just waiting for more people to show up. Let's see now. Let's see now. What else? Yeah. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. And there's 3 in the family. Let's see now. Yeah, so anything major going? Oh, I don't know if you guys had heard, but apparently there were some Disney employees, I guess, in Florida who got caught as part of sting operation. Uh, which I know Yellow Flash did a video on that this morning. I think even quartering Jeremy from the quartering did a story on it too, where I guess 4 employees from Disney and a former federal judge it all got caught up in a sting operation. So yeah, we're at. All right. Well, normally I would wait till the 8-minute mark, but I might just go ahead and just get started here at the 7-minute mark at 6:37 now. So, um, let's see now. All right. So here's what's on tap for tonight. We're going to start a little earlier than usual, as I said. So we got basically, in essence, nine story. Well, okay. So we got 7 articles we'll go through, and then and then of course some wrestling roundups, WWE and AEW. So 9, I guess, topics in total. See, the first 3 stories will be comic related stories. We have a third person. Hello, third person. Glad to see you're here. If you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Um, so on tap for tonight, of course. Yesterday, I guess Donnie Cates. There was an interview with Donnie Cates that came out yesterday. We'll be looking at that. We'll also be looking. Apparently, some research has found um, that I guess there's some new information on the inspiration of Zorro. Also, there's some news coming out of DC where now they retconned um, Tim Drake to being bi, and now he's going to be part of the Pride celebration. On the anime side of it, now those 3 articles on from Bounding into Comics. The 4 anime articles we'll be looking over all from CBR. Some announcements regarding like Tokyo 24th Ward, Gundam 00, Toonami's 25th anniversary, and then the original Digimon anime. So that's all that's on tap for tonight. Just check one more time something here. All right. With that, guess we'll go ahead and get going here. Get right into the articles here. So let's check this. Alrighty then. So let's get going here. I'll get into the first article right now. Okay, so this article, of course, came out, I think, last night. I had decided to push it back to try, so we could have a few, have more articles for today. All right. All right, so here we go. There's the first article here. Marvel Comics writer Donny Cates claims comic book professionals harassed his wife before they began dating and accuses quote unquote CG incels and Christians of harassing him. Article by John F. Trent, published. Now, okay, it almost seems like a big red flag, first off. Harassing his wife before they began dating. So, uh, I don't even know how that's, you know, depending on how long ago I guess they married. I mean, how long they've been dating before that. That doesn't seem to make much sense to me. If this is all over the whole Comicsgate stuff, you know, Comicsgate. Well, I guess from what I understand, Comicsgate's been going on for the last 5-6 years, but so he's saying that he's been continuously harassed for that long. Let's see what's all going down here. Marvel Comics writer Donny Cates recently took to Twitter to allege that quote unquote CG incident. And actually, I had heard a little bit about this. Some of the little whispers. I think Yellow Flash mentioned it. I think few people were saying that this may have been just all baloney. So, but anyways, alleged that quote unquote CG incels harassed him with Photoshop pictures. But while making this claim, he also said that comic book professionals actually harassed. Oh, wait, okay. Let me start that again. Let's see if I'm making sure I'm reading that all right. Marvel Comics writer Donny Cates recently took to Twitter to allege that quote unquote CG incels harassed him with Photoshop pictures. But while making this claim, he also said that comic book professionals actually harassed her before he even began dating her. Okay, there's a bit of a grammatical. Okay, so is he claiming? Okay, if Donny Cates said this, then who's he saying? Is he saying that they harassed him or they harassed her? You know, he doesn't make that. The statement doesn't make that quite clear, unless this is some kind of typo that John actually did there in that. But it's just something kind of off there in just how that was written. But anyways, Kate, who is currently the author on Hulk and Thor, began in his thread with two now deleted tweets. In the first one, he responded to a user that wrote him, quote, "It's creepy when any dude talks about your wife's appearance in any way. There's no such thing as a nice compliment about your wife's looks," unquote. Okay. Kate responded, quote, "Oh, I agree, I disagree, but it's very situational and had to be in good faith. Like, like I think if a good friend, male or female, that you both know and trust tells your wife she looks pretty in a dress or that her outfit looks great or whatever, it's totally appropriate." Okay, so thus far it sounds like somebody's saying that maybe somebody made a comment about. And I think that does come down to context and situation. So in the next, he wrote, quote, "Megan Hutchinson Cates has worked in film for 15 years and comics for like 10." Okay, so this is probably so 15 years film, 10 in comics. So she's been in the comic scene since 2010. Okay. Um, so a lot of her friends are naturally men, and they are very respectful of our marriage and of Megan. And if one of them commented on an Instagram post saying she looks beautiful, I wouldn't bat an eye, unquote. Okay. Thus far, there doesn't seem to be much there. Kate then claimed Hutchinson was getting harassed when the two first began dating. Quote, I will say this though, and I won't name any names, but when dating Megan, I would often go and hang at her table while I was on breaks. And I was astonished at how naive I had been about what women go through in the industry as far as bleepy, creepy dudes. All right. He continued, quote, and these days, Megan Hutchinson, Kate, and I don't really have to deal with this anymore. It died down a lot when we publicly came out as a couple, unquote. Well, okay. What I would argue in that situation is maybe people did think she was quite beautiful. Maybe a lot of them wanted to try to, get with her, But then once you guys came out as a couple, that's why they probably died it down. Hey, don't mess with another man's woman, right? He continued. Oh, okay. Sorry, we already read that part. Quote, and that's good that they backed off. But it's so bleeped up that these guys only backed off once they knew she was with someone with power. That may not be it, he added. It may not be it. Maybe these guys realized she was basically off the market. She wasn't single anymore, and maybe they just decided, hey, let's not mess with another man's wife, another man's girl. He went on to claim that the harassment with some of these individuals was so bad he could put their careers in jeopardy. Was he talking about this is happening with other comic book professionals? Is that, I guess that's actually what they were saying in the article there. Quote, like, oh, you were perfectly fine harassing and stalking my, at the time, girlfriend before, but now that you know that she's with someone who could hurt your, it may not have, again, may not have been that. It may have been, they may have just been respecting the fact that she was in a relationship. If you act out like now, you'll behave like a gentleman. Super cool, so pathetic. Yeah. Again, though, how? Okay, so here's one of the things that, of course, I'd be asking: how exactly was she being harassed before they came out as a couple? How exactly was she being harassed? Okay, what exactly was being said or done that that would make him believe that they were harassing her? I'm going to step away from the computer for a moment because the sun is in a precarious position right now. Things are starting to get a little dim in here, so I'm gonna go turn on my light here in my room. I see you, RJ, and I'll review your comment when I get back from turning on my light. I'll be right back. Hey, RJ, thanks for coming in here. Let's see what you have to say here on this. Mark Brooks, I trolled those CG incels with stuff I made up. Tiny Kate's quote unquote hold my beer. Okay. In other words, do you think this is an extension? So RJ, let me ask you this then: if you're still here, Are you saying this is? Are you basically saying also, from what I've been hearing from a lot of people, say that this is that what Donny Cates is pulling here is baloney? Because basically, based on what little we're hearing thus far, I don't know how much of a claim he legitimately has here. It doesn't really seem like it seems like as the play goes, much ado about nothing. Anyways, I'm gonna go back, continue the article. If you can answer that, that would help me understand the situation a little better. After claiming that a number of comic book industry professionals he worked with had been harassing his now wife, he went on to accuse, quote, CG incels, unquote, of harassing him with photoshopped images of his wife. Okay, has anybody seen any of these photos? He wrote, quote, anyway, I woke up today with a bunch of CG incels sending me dozens of DMs on Instagram telling me and showing me with Photoshop pictures of her all the things they want to do to her. Okay? Again, has anybody actually seen any of these supposed photos? It has less meat to it than baloney. Okay. Less meat to it than baloney. Okay. You know what's another way of saying that? What that sounds like, RJ? Sounds like um that Donny Cates might be full of manure. You get what I mean? Sounds like you might be full of manure right there. Again, though, if um has anybody actually seen any of these pictures, and who is he specifically saying sent these pictures? It's like, quote, and I know they never will. It's just them trying to get a rise out of me. But yeah, quote, yeah. Well, I would almost think he should feel flattered if let's say a bunch of guys want his wife or whatever, you would think that he'd actually be more flattered than anything else. If his wife Megan Hutchinson Kate is a attractive woman, if she's garnering the attention of other men, I would think he'd feel flattered that he has such a beautiful wife and not, um, you know, I mean, a lot of those guys probably, wish they were so lucky if that's the case, but Gates does not provide any evidence of his claim whatsoever. Of course, he doesn't, like a lot of SJWs we know of. But he concludes the thread writing, quote, still maybe a little amped about the whole thing. Sorry, rant over. TLDR, don't be a male's genitalia to my wife. Unquote. Not that I think anybody is, but what does he think he's going to really do about it if somebody does? It's like saying it like that almost is begging for a fight. You would think, you know. And I don't know if that's Donnie trying to be all macho, like, yeah, don't harass my wife or else I'm gonna kick your butt. I'm Donnie Cates. Yeah, look at me, I'm Donnie Cates. Yeah. That's what he kind of sounds like there. And of course, as always, guys, feel free to comment if you guys have anything to add you'd like to add to that. Always feel free to. Um, anyways, Cage wouldn't just target what he describes as quote-unquote CG incels. In a separate thread, he claims it is Christians that are harassing him. Of course he is. Cage responded to one user who wrote, quote, as a right wing guy, I have found this thread to he is okay, there's a typo. I think that's to be a strange read, not to he a strange read. Being protective of wife, family, and friend. Now, okay, now let me also say this, all joking aside and stuff like that, okay? No matter what, okay, let me say this on a more serious note here, just so we understand this. Now, whether or not you believe what Donnie's saying is true or not, it's never cool to go after somebody's, no matter what your issue is, and we're seeing this a lot too. We know of another situation we've been talking about the last couple of days as well, that again popped its head a little bit because of a situation that's been going on. But it is never, let me say that again, never cool to go after somebody's family. No matter what your issue is. You have an issue with a person, you deal with them directly. You don't go after their family, you don't go after their kids. Okay? You don't harass their spouses. Okay? You don't sit there and call, call the person's local sheriff department to report, bodies being buried in a relative's yard. You don't talk about their kids. No matter what your issue is with somebody, you don't, never, never go after somebody's family. That's just not cool. So, anyways, with that little PSA out of the way there, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the content thus far. I felt that it was a good time to actually say that, just to remind everybody of that. Is 90% of conservative values. Getting emotional seems like the right call to me, unquote. Quote, yeah, man, your guess is as good as mine. And what's fascinating to me is that a lot of the people that send me these sexually inappropriate things about my wife very often have profile pictures with like wives and kids and claim to be protectors of God's word. Kate claims again without providing any evidence. So, yeah, so again, and I would be asking, okay, where are these supposed inappropriate pictures? Where is the evidence here, Donnie? You know, okay, so I guess it was Daniel Fitzpatrick who had that first as a right wing guy. He continues, quote, look, as much as the internet has latched on to how Megan and I dress or whatever, we aren't Satanists. All right. Well, I myself have never seen a picture of Megan Hutchinson Kate, so I don't know. Hey, Bat Goat, sup, bro, daddies? Yeah, hey, Bat Goat. We're talking a little bit about Donnie Cates here. I guess some claims he came out with yesterday. I think Yellow Flash talked a little bit about this. I think Ethan's been talking about it too a little bit. Apparently Donnie Cates is coming out saying that people have been harassing his wife or harassed her before they were married or what have you. So, but RJ was just assuring me that it's a lot of it's baloney. Let's see. He continues. Look, as okay. Quote, and we're both very okay with people who has a religious connection. Literally, two of my best friends on earth are devout Christians. Unquote, he adds. Quote, I guess I just want to stress that I have nothing against people that are religious. None whatsoever. Unquote, he declared. Quote, I just find it odd that the aggressive ones who claim to be devout followers of Christ are the same ones sending me DMs to go kill myself. Okay, that does sound a little odd to me. If that is truly happening, then there may be some issues there. And I do know like about people like the Westboro Baptist Church and all that. Okay, I get that, but most of the, I would say almost all the Christians I know wouldn't be pulling this stuff. All the Christians I know would not. This does sound well out of character for Christians as a whole. Okay, this may be another let's villainize the orange man again angle going here. Yeah. So continuing on here, Kate also claims the alleged harassment. That he does not provide any evidence is some nefarious plot to get people to crowdfund Comicsgate projects. Okay. Actually, now that claim, first off, I don't believe anybody's harassing Donnie Cates, at least if there's no actual evidence of it. So, but it's kind of funny because RJ and I were kind of talking about that this earlier today, actually, where we're talking about another matter altogether, where yeah, sometimes people might claim, oh, they're being harassed or no, not that, but sometimes people might link onto drama to to use to get people fired up to back their campaigns. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a victim of harassment. So then of course the people who follow them, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna stick it to those harassers. I'm gonna go ahead and follow this guy's campaign. For all we know, maybe Donnie's pulling this little trick there. Maybe he's got a project he's trying to get funded or whatever. Maybe he's trying to claiming that he and his wife are getting harassed. Um, and again, I haven't seen a picture of Megan, so I don't know her. I know Donnie Cates has come out and said some kind of gnarly things or what have you, nasty stuff, but had heard that. So, anyways, he wrote on Twitter, quote, Commonsgate had figured out that they can't hurt me, not emotionally or financially. So now their new thing is trying to goad me into some big argument thing. Okay, for the most part, I really do disagree with that because most of the people I know in Commonsgate don't give a rat's patoot about him. They don't care for him to begin with. I think most people that I know in Commonsgate think Donnie Cates is kind of a jerk, and especially with people like Ethan and Tug who are making big bank, you know, making their own comics. Why would they even waste their time with this kind of garbage? They're making big bank, so why would they even be wasting their time harassing Donnie and Megan? That doesn't make much sense to me. If any of you have anything you want to add to that or say about that, feel free to add your comments on that. Um, let's see. So okay. So they sell more books, obviously, by attacking Megan. Again, I don't think it works that way, dude. Quote, it's been going on for years now, unquote, he asserted. Now, as far as I know, I'm thinking Comicsgate, the whole Comicsgate stuff's been going on, what, last 5, 6, 7 years? You know, I know some people pointed to that one story in X-Men where Jean Grey had somehow put some kind of hypnotic suggestion into Bobby Drake that he was gay, and then all of a sudden he was gay, and I know that was one of the things, or whether or not it's TDS when Trump got elected president. Prominent Comicsgate member and creator of Cyberfrog, Ethan Van Sciver, responded to Kate's claims using a standard meme format of creating a conversation. He wrote, quote, comics, um, with a colon, Marvel writer, colon, it's cool when dudes hit on my wife as long as they do it the right way. Comics. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Marvel writer. CGers did it wrong this morning. He then asked for evidence, quote, receipts, you wet wet brained femme. This industry is bleeping crazy. Oh boy, Ethan. Ah, let's see. I guess everybody's just sitting back and relaxing and enjoying the content, I hope. All right, so let's see now. In another tweet, Van Sciver shared screenshots of Kate's tweets. He wrote, quote, the coward Donnie Cates, issue number 1-1. Donnie offers oblique blind item commentary about the ongoing problem of women, like his wife, being mistreated in comics. 2. Donnie panics and scapegoats, in smaller quotes, CG incels, rather than accuse his peers, the actual male feminist predators in comics. Unquote. All right, so this is probably how it actually looked in the tweet itself. Oblique blind item commentary. That's a very interesting way of putting it there, Ethan. And I guess these are some of the tweets that they're talking about here. Yeah. John Delarose, another member of Comicsgate, responded to Kate's accusation on YouTube. He stated, quote, if Donnie Cates can't, in bracket, show evidence, here, I'm calling shenanigans and I'm calling that Comicsgate had nothing to do with this. And Donnie, you owe Comicsgate an apology. Well, that's one of the things I would actually kind of agree with him on. If he doesn't have evidence, he should apologize and just shut his mouth. What do you make of Kate's accusations without any evidence? What about Edelman's, Yeah, I would say it's all par for the course. We're seeing this happen a lot. You know, we're seeing this happen quite a bit, and it is kind of stupid. I mean, him claiming Christians are doing this, I find that very, very hard to believe. Again, I know a lot of Christians. I've spent time with a lot of Christians. And even been a practicing one myself at times. But you know, they don't engage in this type of behavior. Okay, so I think based on what we know at this point, Donnie Cates is truly full of it. Again, and if anybody wants to add anything to that, feel free to do so. Anyways, moving on to the next article here. Let's see where are we at on time. In fact, let's see how we're going. All right, we're at the 41-minute mark. People kind of gone quiet on me. I don't know if that just means that they you guys are just listening intently, or you know what have you. Anyways, let's move on to this next story. So, research now shows the real life inspiration for Zorro was Irish, not Spanish. Article by J.B. Augustine published earlier today. I guess this is apropos considering today is St. Patrick's Day. But let's take a look at this then. Um, the legend and mask of Zorro conjure up a distinct image of a lion-hearted swordsman on horseback and dressed all in black, who underneath is Spanish nobleman and adventurer Don Diego de la Vega. Zorro is an Hispanic hero. I think that should say is a Hispanic hero, not an Hispanic hero. One of the first, and that has stand true for a century. And here, of course, is from Gold Key Comics right here. Walt Disney presents Zorro. Stood alone against the Eagle's brood. Zorro number 2. All right, excuse me a moment. I gotta step away from the computer. Chloe's barking. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. Oh wow, RJ came up with a few things here. Nope. Oh, let's see if I can. All right. Nope. H is the only consonant where N is the preferred interaction. Okay. I was always. Okay, let's see. Mike needs to turn on StreamYard background music when he walks away from the computer. Well, first off, I'm not even aware how to do that, RJ. So I'm not even. I wasn't even aware there was such a thing. But um, anyways, getting back to the article here. However, his creator Johnson McCulley based him on real historical figures, and while McCulley's creation could be a composite of several individuals, one stands out as a clear and unanimous inspiration. To boot, he isn't exactly who you'd expect. Meet William Lamport, a 17th century red-haired Irishman of noble birth, an expatriate with chronicles of espionage, standing up for truth, justice, and the underprivileged, and with a fair bit of swashbuckling to go along, were largely lost to history for a long time. So this guy is who Zorro was inspired by, apparently, is what he's saying here. And could you just hear the SJWs right now finding out that Zorro, who is basically a Hispanic hero, was actually inspired by a redheaded Irishman. Oh boy! Oh, the humanity of that. Cultural appropriation! Cultural appropriation! Brand, then scroll to the bottom. All right. Well, maybe I'll try next time then. Cultural appropriation! Ah! Cultural appropriation! Ah! His story was turned into a romance novel by a Mexican general in 1872 that served as the template for Macaulay's tales. But other than that, it took longer for Irish and Spanish historians to dig through Mexican Inquisition archives to discover more about Lamport. A Catholic, he got in trouble for promoting the faith in a time when that was forbidden and punishable by death as a crime of sedition. Escaping with pirates to Spain, he became part of an Irish regiment and found favor with the Duke of Olivares, Gaspar de Guzman y Pimentel. Because of his fluency in Spanish and 14 other languages, the Duke sent Lamport, having changed his name by then to Guillen Lombardo, to Mexico to spy on a viceroy and the rebels against Spanish rule. The Legend of Zorro 2005 Columbia Pictures. So that's where that picture's from right there. As these stories tend to unfold, Lamport's sympathies soon turned toward lower classes opposed to the establishment, and he became a political dissident, finding himself in and out of jail as well as on the wrong side of the Spanish and Portuguese crowns. In favor of Mexican independence, he tried to start a rebellion with the support of the native population and enslaved Africans. Lamport, an abolitionist, who wrote on the moral indignity of the slave trade, abhorred the practice. He is again from the movie Legend of Zorro 2005. It was one more disagreement he had with the elites of the time, and they pulled strings to see him sentenced to death by burning at the stake. Some accounts say during the execution, Lamport was able to undo his bonds and hang himself before he could be burned alive. Records of his life were arcane, but in Mexico, he is honored publicly. A statue of him stands inside the country's Monument to Independence in Mexico City as a reminder of his role in the fight. I guess that's it right there, is what they're talking about. Let's see. The red-haired Irishman will have a okay. The red-haired Irishman will have a movie made about him. McCod Brooks will play the role. That might be interesting. Let's see. Given this information, should it be considered feasible to race Ben Zorro in the future, as if that could actually happen? Absolutely not. The character of cinema, TV, and literature who leaves his mark is traditionally Spanish Latin American and should remain so. The life of William Lamport, on the other hand, would make for a thrilling historical adaptation in its own right. You can learn more about him in the book The Irish Zorro, The Extraordinary Adventures of William Lamport by Gerard Ronan. Here's The Massive Zorro from 1998. Let me try to start pictures. Were you surprised by this obscure history? I hadn't really thought too much about it myself. And y'all could also see Gold Key did a comic book on him way back when. So, anyways, as we now prepare to move on to the next article here. And yeah, it looks like you're right. That's, I think, what they just alluded to in one of the last sentences there we just read. All right, anyway, so getting ready to move on to the next article here, as we're actually coming up on 55 minutes. So actually, we're making some good time here. Here. Well, here's the next article we're going to be looking at. Last comic article of the night. After retconning Tim Drake's Robin and making him attracted to men, DC Comics promotes him as part of their quote-unquote Pride celebration. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. As I said, guys, when you feel the need, if you guys feel you want to add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to do so and comment on what we're talking about here. So, anyways, DC Comics is going all in on their retconning of Batman's sidekick and Robin, Tim Drake, as they are now using the character as part of their virtue signal for what they're calling, quote, DC's 2022 Pride Celebration, unquote. Drake will be featured in a new one-shot titled DC Pride Tim Drake Special. Yeah, Wonder how much that's gonna sell. DC Comics and writer Megan Fitzmartin and artist Belen Ortega retconned Tim Drake in Batman Urban Legends number 6 after defeating the Chaos Cult and rescuing his friend Bernard. The story concludes with Drake showing up at Bernard's house. Bernard proceeds to ask him out on a date, saying, quote, Tim Drake, do you want to go on a date with me, unquote. Drake answers, quote, yeah, I think I want that, unquote. The DC Pride Tim Drake special by Megan Fitzmartin, Belen Ortega, and Alberto Jimenez Albuquerque um, will collect the story retconning Drake. In a press release, DC Comics explains that DC Pride Tim Drake special quote collects the breakout story from Batman Urban Legends in one volume for the very first time, unquote. However, they also note the special will feature, quote, a brand new story that sees Tim teaming up with his former Young Justice teammates and the Batgirls, unquote. The book will arrive in stores on June 14th. And we continue on here. Along with this Tim Drake one shot, DC Comics also announced they will be introducing a brand new character in Galaxy, the Prettiest Star by Jedzia Axelrod and Jess Taylor. This new character is Taylor, the Galaxy crowned DC Comics provided a brief synopsis for the graphic novel. Quote, it takes strength to live as your true self, and one alien princess disguised as a human boy is about to test her power, unquote. Along with this new graphic novel, DC Comics will be giving away a free preview of the graphic novel during Free Comic Book Day. Of course, so they can try to indoctrinate kids into this stuff. They also explain the book is, quote, about gender identity, romance, and shining as bright as the stars, unquote. The book has been described, quote, as a metaphor for transness, unquote, by Supergirl and transgender actor um, Benjamin Maines, who now calls himself Nicole Maines. DC Comics will also publish a 104-page comic titled DC Pride 2022. The comic will have an introduction by Maines and feature a main cover by Phil Jimenez and Arif Prianto. There will also be a wraparound cover by Joshua Swaby and a 125th 1 to 25 variant cover by Jen Bartel. The book will include the following stories: Alicia Yo and Batgirl by Jedzia Axelrod and Lynn Voshi. Aquaman Jackson Hyde by Alyssa Wong and W. Scott Forbes. Green Lantern and Joe Mullen by Teeny Howard and Evan Cagle. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy by Danny Fernandez and Zoe Thorogood. The Ray by Greg Lockhart and Gilio Macaon. Superman John Kent by Devin Grayson and Nick Robles. Tim Drake by Travis G. Moore. Um, the comic also features, quote, contributions from J Bone, Rostein, and Ted Brandt, Samantha Dodge, Brittany William, unquote. Um, there will also be pinups by P. Craig Russell, J.J. Kirby, and more. Now, J.J. Kirby. So, okay, here's a question I have. Maybe RJ, if you're still here, maybe you can answer this for me. Is J.J. Kirby related to Jack Kirby by any chance? Maybe his grandson or something, or granddaughter, or I don't know if JJ's even. If you're still here, RJ, answer that. I was just kind of curious. If J.J. Kirby is related to Jack Kirby, and I guess I could theoretically find that out myself. I guess, but if you know that would be nice to hear you from. Just looking something up real quick here. All right. More thing I want to. All right, so let's see. Check it out for us, Mike. Um, only Kirby I know is the guy that invented the vacuum. Well, okay. I wasn't able to find the information, at least not as quickly as I thought, but I might at some point be able to track it down. But I'm sure RJ would know that about as much. I guess I'll check one more source for a couple of things. I'm just gonna. I doubt this source would really help me too much here, but yeah, I didn't find anything there. All right. Well, anyways, all right. So, anyways, okay. So continuing on with the article then, because I just can't seem to find anything on it. Let's see. So, DC Comics will also publish a new Poison Ivy series, a new Nubia Queen of the Amazon series, a series titled Multiversity Teen Justice. The Poison Ivy series will be written by G. Willow Wilson and Marcio Takara. It will feature covers by Jessica Fong and Warren Lau, Nick Robles, Frank Cho, and Dan Mora. The official description states, quote, in her new series, Ivy leaves Gotham City, sets out to complete her greatest work. A gift to the world that will heal the damage humanity has dealt to it, unquote. They know it will be, quote, 6-issue story arc, unquote. The Nubia Queen of the Amazon series is done by Stephanie Williams, Aletha Martinez, and Mark Morales. Features covers by Carrie Randolph, Jai Lee, and Martinez. DC Comics did not provide any details on the story's plot other than it takes, quote, place right after the Nubia coronation special, unquote. The series will only be 4 issues long. Multiversity Teen Justice comes from the creative team of Ivan Cohen, Danny Lore, Marco Fela, and Enrique Aaron Angolini. The book will also feature covers by Robbie Rodriguez, who infamously sent photos of a male anus to, oh God, to Cyberfrog creator Ethan Van Skyver. Oh my God. Okay. Dude, what the freak's your problem, dude, Mr. Rodriguez? Sending a picture of a guy's anus. Oh God. Oh boy. Uh, Other cover artists include. I'm sorry. I can't believe this idiot. Okay. Anyway, artists include Stephanie Hans, Bengal, and Phyla. The book will feature Kid Quick, the future state Flash, and other characters from Earth 11. A description for the 6-issue series states, quote, the secrets of Earth 11's newest heroes and villains unfold in DC's most exciting new team title. And what role will the mysterious Raven, the brooding hero who has refused to join the team in the past, play in the brand new series? Let's see if anybody's saying anything as of yet. Nope, I guess not. And I do appreciate any and all likes and shares as has been happening. Um, oh, did I goof there and say two? Looks like I goofed there. Oh well, I just saw that. I had to check that, see if I just caught something that I made a mistake on in terms of the title, and I'll have to probably fix that later. Anyways, getting back to the article then. Finally, DC Comics announced they will feature Pride themed variant covers of on a number of their ongoing series, including by Amy Reeder, Batman number 124, David Talaski, Superman Son of Kal-El number 12, Derek Charm, Action Comics 1044, Joe Phillips, Aquaman number 5, Kevin Wada, Nubia, Queen of the Amazons number 1, Chris Anka, Poison Ivy number 1, Nick Robles, Nightwing number 93, Nicole Go, Wonder Woman number 788, Oliver Coipel, Harley Quinn number 16, Stephen Byrne, Multiversity Teen Justice number 1. As noted by the Catechism of the Catholic, quote, homosexual acts are intrinsically disordered. They are contrary to the natural law. They close the sexual act to the gift of life. They do not proceed from a genuine, affective, and sexual complementary. Under no circumstances can they be approved. Unquote. Now, my, of course, the one thing is why are they bringing this up? Why are they bringing this up in this article? That'd be my kind of thing. The Catechism continues, quote, the number of men and women who have deep-seated homosexual tendencies is not negligible. This inclination, which is objectively disordered, constitutes a more of them a trial. They must be accepted with respect, compassion, and sensitivity. Every sign of unjust discrimination in their regard should be avoided. These persons are called to fulfill God's will in their lives, and if they are Christians, to unite to the sacrifice of the Lord's cross the difficulties they may encounter from their condition. So they're basically saying that according to Catholicism, homosexuality is kind of like a disease or sickness that they need to avoid. And again, it goes back to the idea that you cannot procreate through homosexual acts. Quote, homosexual persons are called to chastity by the virtues of self-mastery that teach them inner freedom, at times by the support of disinterested friendship, by prayer and sacramental grace. They can and should gradually and resolutely approach Christian perfection, unquote, the Catechism asserts. And though I do kind of wonder why this would be put into this particular article. You know, I don't know if I don't. If this was John or JB or whoever wrote this article. If they're trying to kind of say, well, this is what I believe or what have you. What do you make of DC Comics and Tim Drake to promote their quote unquote Pride celebration? Yeah, I think it's again one of those things that they think the novelty is going to make it a huge seller, and it's probably not going to sell as much as they think. They say who John F. Trent. I wonder if John put that in there because maybe that's what he believes. Maybe he's a Catholic and he's, um, hey, Jason, we haven't seen you in a while. Hope all's well with you. Just saw the new Jujutsu Kaisen movie. What is an understatement example? There'll be index season. Well, I don't know if there's index season 4 or not. Yeah, I don't even know what you're asking there. Anyways, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. As far as I know, I don't think there's going to be a season 4 for Index, for talking about certain magical Index. Haven't heard anything along those lines, but we will be getting into some anime news here in a moment, as there's like 4 anime articles I'm going to be going over. Some of them do have to do with certain releases coming out. So I think you're just in time there, Jason. So let's see. Yeah. All right. So here's the first anime article we're gonna go through here. These usually go a little faster. So, Tokyo 24th Ward reveals English dub cast and premiere date. Crunchyroll unveils the English voice cast and sets a premiere date for the dub of Studio Cloverworks' latest action series, Tokyo 24th Ward. Article by Hansini Wasalamudalige, published 13 hours ago. So here we go with this. The release date and casting details for the English dub of Cloverworks' Tokyo 24th Ward have been revealed. Crunchyroll announced that the English dub of the ongoing sci-fi anime will premiere on its streaming service on March 16th with the release of the show's first 2 episodes. The remaining 10 episodes will then be released on a weekly basis. The English voice cast features the talents of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Billy Kametz as Shuda Aoi, so basically, this one of the sounds of it sounds like it's going to be the LA voice cast, basically. Landon McDonald from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba as Koki Suido. Zeno Robinson of My Hero Academia fame as Ron Akagi. And Xanthi Hyun from Anohana, the flower we saw that day, as Asumi Suido. Popular YouTuber and actor Sung Wong Cho also play a supporting role in the anime as former teacher Hiroki Shirabaka. Tokyo 24th Ward follows a group of childhood friends comprised of Shuda Aoi, Ranakagi, and Koki Suido, who are known together as RGB. Okay. Their life within the quote unquote 24th Ward, a special district on an artificial island in Tokyo Bay, is largely uneventful until their school catches on fire and Koki's sister Asumi perishes in the flames. While the trio could have saved Asumi, they spent what precious time they had to do so arguing about the best way to rescue her. They go their separate ways, their friendship irrevocably tarnished as a result of her demise. RGB band together again a year later. However, when on the anniversary of the fire, they receive a mysterious phone call from an individual claiming to be Asumi. The caller then thrusts them into life and death situations as Shuta, Ron, and Koki suddenly find themselves the only ones able to protect 24th Ward and its people. Let's see. So we continue on here. Tokyo 24th Ward boasts a considerable amount of talent behind the scenes. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Naokatsu Suda, serving as its director. Its original Japanese voice cast also featured many famous voice actors, such as Junya Inoki from Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Mugen Train as Shuta, Jujutsu Kaisen's Yuma Uchida as Ron, Kaito Ishikawa, My Hero Academia as Koki, and Manaka Iwami, Fruits Basket as Asumi. First 8 episodes of the Japanese language version of Tokyo 24th Ward can be streamed now on Crunchyroll and Funimation. New episodes being added on a weekly schedule. The English dub of the anime will begin airing on March 16th, which was actually yesterday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that was interesting. All right, so there we go with that one. But that article actually came out after it was released. All right, maybe not the best thing to do. Maybe you would like to have the article before it was released, but anyways. All right. All right. Well, anyways, hopefully you guys can still see me here because my thing's saying that the connection is unstable for some reason here. All right, there we go. I guess we just got full signal back. Okay. So, anyways, all right. So let's move on to this next article here. Gundam 00 returned with new spinoff, Revealed Chronicle. Director Seiji Mizushima returns to the Gundam franchise for Revealed Chronicle, a new CG anime set in between Gundam 00's two seasons. A new entry into the Gundam 00 series has been announced. Revealed Chronicle, a new CG spin off that will delve into previously untold stories from the world of Gundam 00, or 00, was revealed during the latest live stream from the official Gundam YouTube channel. While the show's producers stated that it is not a quote unquote full anime, it will tell stories set in between the events of the first and second season of the 2007 anime series and will feature new mobile suits for Setsuna, Lock-On, and the other Gundam Meisters. Revealed Chronicle is being directed by Seiji Mizushima, who directed the original series and also worked on Neon Genesis Evangelion and Full Metal Alchemist. The announcement did not specify a premiere date, nor did it slate if Revealed Chronicle will be distributed as a TV series, a net animation, or a movie. All right, so let me see the time here. Hour 26. We probably do want to try to hurry along here a little bit. The live stream also revealed new metal build figures for the newly revealed redesigns of the Gundam Exia and Gundam Dynames, and showcased the first appearance of a new antagonistic mobile suit. Mobile Suit Gundam 00 premiered in 2007 and was the first series in the long-running mecha franchise to be produced in high definition. Set in the war-torn future of the year 2307 AD, when fossil fuels have been depleted and humanity now relies on a massive array of orbital solar panels for energy, the series tells the story of the four Gundam Meisters, a team of young men who pilot powerful mobile suits that are generations ahead of any technology previously seen on Earth. The Meisters attempt to create a new era of peace by disabling the military forces of the world. But their armed intervention instead sparks an even more destructive conflict that threatens the future of humanity. The original anime series premiered to low ratings, but has since become one of the most popular branches of the larger Gundam franchise. Show has been lauded for its political themes, memorable cast of characters, its now iconic mobile suits, some of which have become the most popular releases in Bandai's line of Gunpla model kits. A poll held in Japan in 2018 named it the fourth most popular Gundam series behind the original 1979 series, Zeta Gundam, and Gundam Seed. Both seasons of Gundam 00 are available for streaming on Hulu and Crunchyroll. Mobile Suit Gundam 00, the movie, A Awakening of the Trailblazer, a theatrical release which serves as a conclusion to the series, is available on DVD, Blu-ray from Bandai Entertainment. Oh, there we go with that one. We go with the next article here. Let's see where we're at. See if anybody else said anything. Huh, I guess not. All right, let's see now. Fully Cooley to return with 2 new seasons for Toonami's 25th anniversary. Yeah, so Toonami's coming up on its 25th anniversary from when it's. So Toonami announces 2 new seasons of Kazuya Tsurumaki's cult classic anime, as well as a new series, Housing Complex C, for its 25th anniversary. Article by Michael Cerna, published 9 hours ago. So let's see what. Toonami is celebrating its 25th birthday by announcing 2 new seasons of Fully Cooley. As reported by Variety, the long-running programming block marked the 25th anniversary of its premiere by announcing a new continuation of one of its most popular shows, director Kazuya Tsurumaki's beloved sci-fi coming-of-age anime, Fully Cooley. Is that what it's pronounced? Toonami announced that 2 new seasons of the series are now in production. Like the show's second, third seasons, they are named after 2 subgenres of rock music. The 4th season will be entitled Fully Cooley Grunge. The 5th will be called Fully Cooley Shoegaze. Grunge is being directed by Hitoshi Takakiyo and animated by Mont Blanc Pictures, while Shoegaze will be directed by Yutaka Uemura and produced by Production IG, who animated the second and third seasons of the show. Details about the 2 new seasons story weren't revealed, but Adult Swim revealed a teaser trailer shows off Grunge's new art style. Toonami also announced Housing Complex C, a new horror anime from director Yuichi Nara and animation studio Akatsuki. Kind of interesting, a horror, named after the Japanese word for dawn, right there. A new series tells the story of Kimi, a young girl whose family moves into a low-cost housing complex in the seaside town of Kurosaki. Horrific incidents begin to occur in and around the complex, leading its residents to believe that they are being stalked by an ancient evil. Both the Fully Cooley continuation and Housing Complex C are being produced by Jason DeMarco, co-creator of the Toonami block. Quote, what better time to announce 2 new seasons of Fully Clothing Housing Complex C and on our 25th anniversary, unquote, said DeMarco, who now works as the Senior Vice President of Action and Anime for Warner Media. Quote, Adult Swim's ongoing commitment to support Toonami with new original series is something anime fans can celebrate every day. And yes, One Piece anime has returned to Toonami. We did see that also. Toonami originally debuted in 1997. The programming block took over Cartoon Network's afternoon program and aired English dubbed cuts of Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. Locke is credited with helping to popularize anime with a wider mainstream audience in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Toonami was relaunched in 2012 as a subset of the late night Adult Swim network. Its lineup was recently refreshed with the addition, I think that should say addition, of several new shows, including Made in Abyss, as well as the return of ongoing favorites such as One Piece, Attack on Titan, the final season part 2. In addition to airing anime produced by other companies, Adult Swim has begun financing its own original anime series, including Athena, Pirate Princess, and Shimui Animation, which were co-produced by anime streamer Crunchyroll. Right, so we do have one more anime article to go through. That's set up. Gotta go. Okay. Here's the last anime article we're going to go through. But before I do that, got to step away from the computer for a moment to deal with Chloe. I'll try to see what I can do here. So I'll try to follow. Oh, actually, it's something about theme. What was it RJ suggested earlier? Oh, Brandon, then scroll to the bottom. Okay. Okay, I see. Hey, what shall we? All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, so we tried that. Hopefully, you guys like that. Um, all right. So with that, let's get back to the article here. Then, let's see. Original Digimon anime gets remastered Blu-ray release. So this is going to be the last um, anime article of the night. We already at an hour 39. Wow. The original 1999 Digimon anime, adventure anime, is coming to Blu-ray. The original English dub, newly remastered with the video by Michael Estrada, published 7 hours ago. Discotech Media announced new home release of the classic Digimon Adventure anime series. Um, the new Blu-ray edition of the beloved 1999 anime was revealed through the distributor's official Twitter account. The new release will feature a brand new HD remastering from AstroRes, a company that specializes in the use of machine learning technology to upscale and restore degraded footage and material that was originally created in standard definition. Discotech released several sample clips showing the difference the remaster creates, and stated that its release of the series will provide an even clearer image than the previously released Japanese Blu-ray edition of the show. Here we go. Digimon Adventure will be re-released in two separate packages. The first will feature the show with the original English dub and that aired in the United States as part of Fox Kids Saturday morning lineup. And the second release will feature the unedited cut with its original Japanese language audio track and English subtitles. Both editions of the series are scheduled to be released sometime before the end of 2022. The show originally premiered in 1999, 2 years after Bandai released the original Digimon virtual pet toy in Japan. The anime told the story of a group of children who are mysteriously teleported into the digital world that exists unseen alongside the real world. The show was one of the first examples of the now extremely popular isekai genre to be broadcast on TV outside of Japan. The anime series is also notable for being one of the early directorial works of Mamoru Hosoda, who has since helmed a number of acclaimed anime movies, including the Academy Award nominated Mirai and most recently Bell, which was released in the United States earlier this year. While some initially dismissed the series as a clone of Nintendo's Pokemon franchise, the anime series was a hit and differentiated itself with a slightly more mature tone and a deeper focus on serialized storytelling. The show received direct continuations in the Digimon Adventure 02 anime series and Digimon the movie, which were both released in 2000. Another sequel series entitled Digimon Adventures Try premiered in 2015, The original story finally concluded with the release of the movie Digimon Adventures Last Kizuna in 2020. Before the entire series was fully rebooted with a new Digimon Adventures TV series, which ran in from 2020 to 2021. The current Digimon anime, Ghost Game, is set in a different continuity. The series was recently placed on hiatus after a cyber attack against Toei Animation delayed production of further episodes of the series. The original non-remastered cut of Digimon Adventure is available for streaming on Hulu. So there we go. With that. Um, Now, so we have concluded with all of our the articles at least. Before, of course, we get to before we start cleaning up, we do have just a couple little roundups here, real quick. So, in some WWE news that happened, so now there are rumors going about that Austin actually may want to actually wrestle at WrestleMania 38 this year. You know, apparently he hasn't been too happy with what creatives come up for him. He is still planning on being at the plan still is at this point is for him to show up on the KO show with Kevin Owens. Um, but now it's been said that he wants to wrestle at the show. So that'll be interesting to see if that happens. And also, during his recent podcast, Ric Flair had stated that he does not believe Shane Douglas should go into any Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. You know, kind of challenging his credentials there. Now, of course, there's been some back and forth between Rick and Shane over the years. Shane, for a long time there in the 90s, had basically been very critical of Rick, claiming that Rick had somewhat sabotaged his career during the time he was in like Jim Crockett Promotions, in WCW. So I don't know if there's been any real serious talk of whether or not Shane they plan on putting Shane in any kind of pro wrestling, whether that be the WWE or. It does seem though like WWE is just putting anybody and everybody in the Hall of Fame without giving major consideration. Like they put guys in there who never even wrestled in who never really wrestled in the WWE. They put Abdullah the Butcher in there, which totally disgusted Billy Graham. Billy Graham told him, "Hey, take my name out of the Hall of Fame then. You're gonna put that bloodluster in there. Don't put me in there with him. Take me out of there." So that's all of the WWE news. And then on last night's AEW Dynamite, some of the highlights that went down there included a new AEW Women's Champion as Thunder Rosa defeated champion Dr. Breaker DMD. Now, the match was held in a steel cage match. It was a very bloody match, which caused some controversy because there's some people higher ups who may not like the idea of having the women bloody themselves up as much. AEW has been good of protecting the cage match and making sure it stays special and not just overusing it. But in that they in a very, very violent and bloody battle, which said to be a very good match. I kind of saw the end of it. They had clips of the end of the match. It was a pretty good match. The two women here, Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, they put everything they had into this match, and it was a good match. Other news that happened last night, of course, Scorpio Sky retained the TNT title, which goes against what I was initially hearing was they were thinking of having him as transitional champion. Now it looks like they may be having him have a more sustained push. MJF, Wardlow's contracted employer, as it were, came in and sabotaged him and basically cost him the title win, which may be setting up for MJF Wardlow feud there. Wardlow is a man unto himself as being a part of MJF's entourage or backing. Nobody in the locker room likes this guy. So he's kind of having a fight against MJF on his own there. So he, and Wardlow was fending off a 6-on-1 attack that included MJF, Shawn Spears, and of course all the members of the men of the day, or men of the year rather. You also had the Hardy Boys in a match last night, in their first tag match in AEW, in which they defeated the Primetime Players. Looking pretty good considering for how old they are, how far along they are in their career. They obviously can't do what they did like 20 years ago, but 20, 25 years ago, but these guys still are. It's kind of interesting if you watch the Hardy Boys over the years and seeing that big bald spot on Matt's head. So yeah. So anyways, that's all of the wrestling news I'll all the wrestling news I'll be going over there. So with that, let's go. Why don't we go ahead and start winding down here a bit? So today is, and I know that I screwed up on the YouTube titles. I said today's actually March 17th. This is St. Patrick's Day. So let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. History! So let me just review here. 92, 2007, or 2002, 2002, and then this was from 2007. All right. So without no further ado, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. All right. So, first off, going back to 1980, on this date in 1992, which was 30 years ago today, the 400th issue of Archie went on sale on this date back in 1992. So, 30 years ago today, the 400th issue of Archie went on sale for $1.25. It was, and now, granted, that was 30 years ago, and look at how much things have jumped in 30 years. It was 125 then. Now a lot of comics are what? $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. That's quite a significant jump right there. So Archie, of course, is featured in 3 of the stories, and then had Sabrina, Sail Tale was featured as well. So on this date, 30 years ago today, the 400th issue of Archie went on sale on this date. Well, moving on to the next bit of niche history. Oops. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, on this date, 20 years ago today, from the Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Wrestlemania 18 took place on this date in back in 2002. So 20 years ago today, from the Sky Dome in Toronto, Canada, WrestleMania 18 took place. As the main event of the main event of the night had Triple H defeating Chris Jericho for the WWF Undisputed Heavyweight Champion, the same Chris Jericho who just turned heel in AEW last night with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Among some of the other matches included Jazz retaining the WWF Women's Championship in a triple threat match over Lita and Trish Stratus. You saw The Rock defeat Hulk Hogan on this night. The hardcore title had been defended. This is during the time, of course, they were having the hardcore championship, and it was defended like 24/7. Basically, the night started out. He went through several. We had several title changes of the hardcore, starting out with Spike Dudley pinning Maven to win the championship during a scheduled title match between Maven and Goldust, as it ended in a no contest when Spike Dudley came in and pinned him for the title. And then the Hurricane defeated Spike Dudley backstage. And then you had later on Mighty Molly defeated the Hurricane for the championship. And then you had Christian defeat Mighty Molly for the championship. And then finally, Maven got the title back, this time from Christian. And it ended there as Maven left the arena and attacked. So all that was happening. Also, in a four corners elimination match for the WWE Tag Team Championship, Billy Gunn, and Chuck Colombo retained the title over the APA, Bradshaw and Farouk, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys. The late Scott Hall, of course, lost in the match to Steve Austin here. Undertaker defeated Ric Flair. Edge defeated Booker T, among some of these other. Diamond Dallas Page retained the European Championship over Christian. RVD defeated William Regal for the Intercontinental Championship on this night. So, on this date 20 years ago today, WrestleMania 38 from the Sky Dome in Toronto, Canada, happened. Moving on to the next piece in each history here, a little bit of, well, I guess for her family, it would be considered a sad note, but on this date in 2000, as we always like to say, 2002 is just so nice that you got to hit it twice. On this date, actress Rosetta La Noire passed away at the age of 90. Most people remember her from a role as Estelle Winslow, Mother Winslow, Carl's mother on Family Matters. She also played, of course, Nell Carter's mother in Give Me a Break. From a animation point of view, she voiced Big Bertha in Ralph Bakishi's animated feature film Fritz the Cat back in 1972. So, which was 50 years ago. So, on this date in 2002, passing of Rosetta La Noire, actor from at the age of 90. So, let's see. What else do we have? Hey, Backo. By the way, shucks about Razor Ramon. Even I knew that name. Yeah. Sorry, Watch JR Go went live. I have to mod for him. And it's Cray Cray there. JR Go. Who's JR Go? That doesn't ring a bell to me there, Backcode. Fritz the Cat was a great animated movie. Yeah. Yeah, I may have to go check out a JR Go. I don't even know who JR Go is. He's an auto guy. Oh, okay. That's why I don't know him then. Doesn't even. All right. Well, I do have one more piece of history, and then I'll be wrapping up. Backgut, I hope you'll be ready for tomorrow night. For the historical comic retrospect. Anyways, let's get to the last piece of niche history before we start to wrap up here. So our last piece of niche history here is on this day in. I'll be here. All right. All right. All right. So, anyways, on this date back in 2007, I believe, yeah, 15 years ago today, Sho Geki Joban Kororo Gunsho 2 Shinkai no Princess de Arimasa, which translated is Sergeant Frog Movie 2 The Deep Sea Princess as part of the Sergeant Frog manga, anime adaptation, premiered in Japan on this date in 2002. So on this date in 2002, 2007 rather, 15 years ago today, from Sunrise Studios, Sergeant Frog Movie 2, The Deep Sea Princess premiered in Japanese theaters on this date. So it's getting warmer here. Snow is melting. I'm going to start throwing this soon. All right. Well, hopefully you'll still be coming around here too during the week. I guess tonight was a good start, huh? Anyways, all right. Well, with that all that being said, guys, don't forget tomorrow night is our weekly look back at comics history. We'll be continuing our coverage of November 1938. We'll be doing a little summary work on Centaur Comics. From Amazing Mystery Funnies issue. I believe it might be 3 or 4. Probably 3, maybe 4. But also we'll be reading from Jumbo Comics, Volume 1, number 4 from Fiction House. Meaning, of course, we'll be reading up on Sheena, Gilda Gay, and Dr. Hayward. So with that, guys, I hope everybody will be back here tomorrow night, and I hope to see everybody there. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.